All right. Welcome to this week's podcast. Last week, I missed the podcast, so forgive me for that. It was Memorial Day, and I was traveling to Kansas City. Obviously, we had an epic Memorial Day, and we'll talk about that in just a second, along with a bunch of other things. But guys, today is June 3rd. It's the start of June. June is a better month to sell pest control than May. It's a better month to sell pest control than April. And the summer is just heating up, just getting started. There's a ton to be excited about. We got Ryan here with us to share some cool insights and go over some exciting stuff. So thank you guys for tuning in, and sincerely, thank you for all the hard work. At this point in the year, I've been to Fort Lauderdale, I've been to Alexandria, I've been to Richmond, I've been to Seattle, I've been to San Diego North and South, I've been to Denver, I've been to Kansas City, I've been to St. Louis. I have not been to Cincinnati or Cleveland. Ryan's been both those places. I'm coming to Ohio next week. I just bought my plane tickets. So I love getting out and visiting all the teams. It's one of the most exciting, motivating, encouraging, and inspiring things I've ever done. It's amazing to see all of the hard work. It's incredible to see all the talent that is within the elite partnership. We have so many sales reps that just give it all every single day. I'm honored to be a part of this team. I sincerely love all you guys, and I'm grateful for everything that we're doing together this summer. Obviously, there's hard days. There's hard days in market. There's hard days at home. There's hard days every single way you look at it. But as a group, we're continuing to push. We're continuing to get better. We're giving our all, and that makes it easier. It's easier to do hard things when you're part of a group that has that as their culture. So I love doing hard things with you guys. I love making it happen, and I can't wait to keep working hard the whole rest of the summer. Anything you want to add to that?
No, just we'll work on getting cooler mics too.
Caden, we were supposed to have two, but Caden stole one.
Oh, freaking Caden, man. No, I've just been extremely stoked too being out. I've been in, like I say, Ohio a ton. I've been out to San Diego to see Danny as well and those guys, but it's just made me incredibly grateful where we're at right now. Like all of us right now, we're at a point where we started pretty darn early, but all of us are on track to do freaking massive things this summer. There hasn't been a summer where our partnership's been even close to where we're at right now. My region too, like shout out to all you guys. We're doing incredible things and growing big. So let's keep freaking working our butts off. There's still time on the clock. If I'm correct on this, there's 13 weeks through August right now. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But there's still plenty of time to do massive things. So let's just keep rocking and rolling.
Guys, this is totally unplanned, totally off the cuff. Mark Wilmore, the GOAT, just called me. Mark's in Denver right now. Mark, Ryan and I are recording the podcast. What words of encouragement do you have for the squad?
Oh, wow. Right on the spot, huh?
Yeah, you're on speaker.
The biggest thing is energy. Find enthusiasm. At this point of the summer, some of you guys have been knocking for 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, or 3 days if you're just getting started. And the biggest secret is energy sales. And if you can learn how to control your energy, you can learn how to control your sales and your consistency. So pound those 200, 300 milligrams of caffeine. It's worth it.
We both just cracked open Red Bulls, so we're all on the same page.
Let's go.
I'll call you back right after this, Mark.
Okay, good luck. We'll see you.
Ryan mentioned we've never done better than we're doing right now, and that's true. It's crazy how well this group is doing. So 2 weeks ago, we did barely over 15 million. Last week, we did barely over 16 million. I wish. 1.5 million, then 1.6 million. This last week, we did 1.675 million. So we improved by like $70,000, and it was awesome. 2 years ago in our partnership, so 2022, we barely did over $15 million in service revenue. If memory serves me well, it was like $15.5 million with everybody combined. Guys, this week, we will cross $15 million in service revenue. As of today, we're at $14.3 million in service revenue. So you guys should all be proud to be part of an organization that's growing, that's thriving, that within 2 years will really like close to double in size. Last year, 2023, we did just over 23 million, if I remember right, or 22.5 million. So we should pass that by mid-July maybe sooner, who knows. but the sky's the limit, and this is a group that works hard. This is a group that improves. This is a group that's doing the right things. Couple other things that I have on my items of business before we jump in. Chandler Smith, who is the godfather of our partnership. He's my best friend. He owns the most real estate of anyone I know. He's one of the richest 30-year-olds of anyone I know. He's got the craziest life story. Chan is like my role model. Like, I love the guy. He's incredible. He's my best friend. He actually asked me, he's like, dude, I miss the Aptive people like crazy. If you don't know Chandler's story, you should go watch his story on YouTube. It's crazy. But he recruited me to Aptive. He built this partnership up. A lot of you are here because you saw his YouTube videos and things like that. He obviously retired like a year and a half ago. His wife had stage 4 terminal cancer and unfortunately passed away. And it's one of those events that altered the course of a lot of our lives, and I think about it every day. Chan's my best friend, but he's been able to be there for his family, and in large part because of this job and because of what he was able to do with Aptive. But anyways, he talked to me about how much he misses this group, how much he misses sales, how much he misses everything that we're doing. And he asked me if he could do a training for all of us this week. So I don't know the day yet. I'm supposed to see him tonight, but I'm going to get that set up. It'll be a live Zoom training where you guys can hop on and hear his story, hear his advice, ask him some questions, and learn from one of the best to ever do it. He originally broke the rookie record like 12 years ago. So he's a darn good salesman. He's a better real estate investor, but he's a darn good salesman too. 15 million as a partnership this week. Oh, got another cool story before we dive into stats. I knocked with Kansas City and St. Louis this week, and I had a lot of fun, a lot of cool experiences. One of the best experiences was with one of our sales reps named Jesus, or Jesus. He is from Honduras. He played on their national volleyball team. He's like 6'6", super cool, super handsome. English is his second language, but he speaks it really well. And seeing him on the doors just reminded me everything that makes this job fun. He was happy, he was charismatic, he was energetic, and literally every single person listened to his pitch. So guys, the thing that I took away, or the thing that I was reminded of from that experience, is just how fun this job can be if you have good energy. After every door, whether they said yes or no, he would just with a big old smile say, they couldn't handle my pest control, on to the next one. And he just had this like incredible energy. So don't forget how awesome this job is, how unique our opportunity is, how incredible this experience is. Don't forget to take it, in a happy way. Like, you should be happy while you're out knocking. And if you can have good energy, if you can have positive vibes, you will sell at a very high level. Jesus did $18K his first week with us. That was 2 weeks ago. And he did almost $14K last week. So he's consistently been one of our top rookies. And I'm here to tell you, it's not because he has like the picture perfect pitch. It's simply because he has incredible confidence and he exudes a ton of good energy, which is what Mark mentioned. So really cool to see, really fun to experience. Also, I'm getting another call. Let's put this guy on speaker. Hey, Chan, I'm recording a podcast right now for the sales guys. You're on speakerphone. I was telling them you're going to do a training this week. Tell everybody, hey.
What's up?
They're excited to hear from you, man. Give them some words of encouragement.
Just hit the next door, baby.
That's what it's all about. I'll call you back in like 20 minutes, Chan.
All right, love you, man.
Bye. lots of guest appearances today. Okay, let's dive into some stats. And again, these are from last week, so forgive me for missing 2 weeks ago. If you guys broke records and you had your best week ever, and I missed it 2 weeks ago because I didn't do the podcast, I apologize. I expect you to break records again this week so that I can record the podcast next week before I go to Cincinnati and Cleveland. Okay, so last week we did $1.675 million in service revenue as a partnership. The most exciting thing that happened, we led the company in service to sales ratio. That's the first time we've ever done that in my entire career at Aptive. So 10 years here, we've literally never led in service to sales ratio. But we've adjusted our culture and we've made that a big pillar of what we do, and we led the company. We had 86.2%. A big reason for that, Our same days are up to 47.7% as a partnership. You guys can remember 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, we were down at 20%, 25%, and I promised we'd get up over 50%. We got really close last week. I hope that this is the week we break it. That effort was led in large part by Cleveland 2, who had 70% of their accounts as the same day. So nice work, leadership in Cleveland 2. Nice work, service pros. Nice work, Demery. Nice work, sales reps, for prioritizing those same days. Really incredible effort. Fun to see.
On that note, too, that's with Cleveland doing over 80,000 in one of the days last week and setting their PR last week. So 70% same days. It's freaking insane considering the revenue, too, they had.
Yeah, they did $270,000. They were our top team. By just a smidge. They barely inched out San Diego and St. Louis. So that's a fun competition to watch, and it's only getting better. But yeah, 86.2% sales to service ratio, 47.7% same days. Our contract value did go down ever so slightly. We had a 976. You'll remember the last time we did this, we had just crossed over 1,000. So I think maybe we didn't harp on it as much the last couple weeks, and we dropped just a little bit. 976 is really good. I'll take a 976 and an 87% sales to service. I'll take that. That's good. But there is some meat on the bone there. If we can get that up another $30, $40, $50, that's more money in each of your pockets, more money for the team, more revenue for the company. It's a win for everybody. Remember, it's always easier to get new revenue from the same customer than it is to get a new customer to give you more revenue. So upsell mosquitoes, start your pricing high. It's the craziest thing. The higher you start on pricing, the higher you'll end on pricing. On your initial price drop for that first visit, don't go all the way down to $99 right away. Go down to $189 or $209 or $199 or $249 if you're in a wealthy neighborhood. But give yourself some room on those aces so that you can end in a great spot on revenue. We'll give some team shout outs. Cleveland led the partnership in service revenue. San Diego was right behind at $253,000. St. Louis at $250,000. Exceptional effort from all three of those teams. Serviced ACV. Cleveland also. Oh, I wrote that down. Nope, they did not. Cincinnati led in that 1,021. Golly, I should bring my laptop in here. Yeah, Cincinnati. Okay, I wrote it down right. Cincinnati had a 1,023. They just edged out St. Louis that had a 1,021 and Tacoma that had a 1,019. So nice work, Cincinnati. Same days, Cleveland, we already talked about that, dominated. Revenue per rep, RPR. This one deserves a big shout out, so everyone tune in. San Diego South broke the $10,000 mark. They did $10,148 as a team on a per rep average basis. That is monstrous. That puts their average rep this summer on track to do like 160, 170K starting from right now. That's insane. Nice work, San Diego. San Diego had our highest RPR last summer. It's a big shout out to their experienced reps, to their rookies, everybody across the board. That's great. We had nearly 6,800 as a partnership there, which is also really good. Last knock, Denver. Denver works hard. I was in Denver last week, and I'll tell you, we didn't start nightly training until 10:30 p.m. because those guys were out knocking. I didn't go to bed till like 2 a.m. I was exhausted because those guys just work hard. So nice work, Aiden. Nice work, Andrew. Nice work, Sayer, Tim, Caleb, Tommy, all the rookies on that team. Fun to see you guys dominating. Revenue after 8 p.m., Richmond. Richmond is consistently throwing up accounts after 8. I'm in their group chat, and every week, like 20% of their team's revenue gets sold after 8 p.m. They're doing something right there. They're creating urgency. They're pushing into the wee hours of the night, and that's led in large part by the team leads, by John, by Mateo, by Thomas. Nice work setting the example, guys. Average DMs, Denver won there as well. No surprise, if you work later, if you work longer hours, you're going to get to more DMs. So nice work, Denver. Average initial, Alexandria. I don't think these guys have been beat a single week. Alexandria has led in average initial all summer long. Congratulations, guys.
Their RPR was also 9,700.
Yeah, it's insane.
Sick.
That's in large part due to Jeff, Levi, and Grant, who all had almost 20K weeks. So good work, you three, and good work, Alexandria team. DMs per sale, Alexandria and Tacoma led the partnership. They tied there. This is like a skill statistic. So both of those guys closed 1 in 20 as a team, which is a really, really good ratio. You guys should be monitoring your DMs per sale as the summer goes on. We're going to see that continue improving every single week, especially from May to June. It's easier to sell. People have more bugs. You're more used to the sale. You're more used to pushing people. You're going to see that ratio continue to drop, which means you're making more money from the same effort every single day. And then to wrap it up, switchovers. Richmond had, Richmond had 39.2% of their sales as switchovers. So it's a competitive market. Switchovers are amazing, though. You can live off the switchover. Chandler, who just called, when he knocked, he would sell like 4 switchovers every day. That's really all he would sell, is just a ton of switchovers. So master the switchover approach. You can find 2-3 switchovers every single day. It'll add a ton of revenue to your summer. And those are the team shout-outs. Anything you want to add?
No, yeah. I mean, just to echo the switchover too, that's something too, I've been training with a lot of guys out in Ohio, lots of guys asking questions about the switchover. It's probably, something we could do for an entirely different training, but talk to your team leaders, watch NZ videos. That's the number one big thing, that there 100% are a lot of low-hanging fruit that are ready to buy and switch over. I always tell guys, in every single neighborhood, no matter where you're at, there's 3 people that will 100% buy. One will buy because they need pest control. One will buy simply because they like you. And 100% in every single neighborhood, there's one person that is ready to switch. So always be really confident as you go into every single neighborhood. Those 3 people exist everywhere. And obviously, there's a lot more on top of those 2 the more you push.
Yeah, I love that. And I tell reps that too. You got to pick up demographics. You're kind of collecting sales abilities. So after you start closing those 3, then you add in the do-it-yourselfer. You add in the more difficult switchover. Like there's those same people. You run into the same type of people in every neighborhood every day of the summer. And that's how guys like Aubert are able to now average like 8 or 9 or 10 sales a day. It's because he's figured out how to sell these different personality types, and he consistently adds them in. And switchover is a big part of that. Okay, we'll do some rookie shout-outs, then we'll do experienced reps. So we had 16 rookie reps over 10K this last week. I added them all on here because they all deserve a big shout-out. You guys will remember a month ago, we didn't even have 10. We had like 6 or 7, and I promised we'd get over 10, and you'd have to be over 10K to be in the top 10 rookies. Now we're up to 16. So realistically, for the rest of the summer, you'll probably need to do over 10K to even be in the top 15, and you'll need to do over 15K to be in the top 5. We're going to have that happen here soon. So congratulations to all of our rookie reps, especially these top 16 who broke 10K. Adam Tillman led the way with $20,000, 402 in service revenue. He had a 90% sales of service revenue, a 1,020 ACV, and perhaps the most impressive stat on here, his average last knock last week was at 9:27 p.m. Adam knocked 71 DMs per day. He had 70% same days. 35% of his accounts were switchovers, and he sold 1 in 20 decision makers. Guys, Adam is a better rookie sales rep, not because he's the most talented kid in the world, which he is talented, but there's other guys closing even better DMs per sale on this list. Adam simply worked harder. He talked to 70 decision makers a day when our partnership average was 44. He's knocking 1.5 times as many decision makers every day because he gets out earlier, he takes shorter lunches, and he knocks later. I knocked with Adam in San Diego, and it really, really impressed me and inspired me how much emphasis he puts into every single pitch. Adam has been out just about a month now, and he's over $100,000 in service revenue. So his first month ever on the job, he did $100,000. Ethan Holbrook in Cleveland. Ethan with almost $19,000 in service revenue, 89.5% sales to service. Ethan is over $150K on the summer. He's punched his emerging team leader bonus, which means he's qualified for a $12,000 bonus that'll be paid out monthly after the summer. Congratulations, Ethan. We love to see the success. Logan Dixon. I knocked with Logan. I think this is his biggest week ever. 14,781. Brian Sanchez in Richmond. I believe this is a PR for him as well. 14,547. Cooper. I was just with Cooper. Cooper is actually Chandler Smith's cousin. So fun to see the bloodline continue on. Cooper with 13,690 and a 100% sales to service ratio. Jack, our top rookie, with 13,521. Jack is over 175K, and within the next week or two, he'll hit 200K. Congratulations, Jack. Thank you for setting the bar Fun to see you succeed. Jesus, who I just mentioned, 13,421. Nathan Durst, 12,883. Alex Moises, who I tried to knock with in St. Louis, but he was too busy knocking to even reply to me. The guy's dialed with 12,831. Caden Putnam, 12,241. Elam, who I knocked with, 12,070. Haley, 11,607. Tyler Kuhn, 11,284. Mason Cole, 10,968. Mason is one of our So You Think You Can Sell winners. Fun to see you doing so well, Mason. Congratulations. Clay Weeder, 10,359. Justin Rosier, 10,064. A lot to be proud of there. Nice work, rookies. Experienced reps. So this is our overall. We'll go through this one quick. These guys get shout-outs every week. Chan Mack, 29,473. Look at the service to sales. Look at the service to ACV here. All of these guys are up above 85%. Most of them are above 90%, and nearly all of them are over 1,000 ACV as well. John Martin, number 2. Dane Lapine, number 3. Connor Geisler, number 4. Colby Markowski, number 5. Jeff, number 6. You had to do over 17,000 to be in our top 15. I want to specifically shout out Titus, who is in Cincinnati. Titus did $110,000 his rookie year. This was his first week out. He put a ton of time into recruiting, a ton of time into training this offseason, and he's coming out with a vengeance. Titus did $17,000 in service revenue in his first week on the doors this summer. He's one of those guys to watch out for. Next year, he won't be playing baseball. He says he's going to do a Golden Door. I believe it's possible. So, nice work. Anything you want to add to any of that?
Couple of obvious Chan and freaking John Martin are the guys to beat out here right now. You guys are freaking animals. I do want to shout Dane Lapine out. Dane, he sold his first summer at 17 years old a couple years ago. He then served a mission in Spain for 2 years. This is his first summer back after that first summer. And Dane did $109,000 in revenue this past month also, his first month back. So watch out for Dane too, you guys. We've got a lot of big names on this list. And honestly, every freaking week, it gets me just so darn hyped. We're pushing in the right direction.
A lot to be proud of. Okay. Ryan, do you want to explain the spreadsheet that you made? And then I've got a few thoughts I want to end with. A couple weeks ago, I sent out like a revenue calculator, kind of helping you guys know what you need to do on a daily basis to reach your goals. Ryan always takes what I do and he makes it like 25 to 50% better. So this is a similar calculator. It's just a significantly upgraded version of it that'll help you guys know what you need to be doing on a daily basis. You can track your revenue on there so that you can hit your goals this summer.
So a couple things too with this spreadsheet. I'm still working on figuring out the perfect. I was an Excel master back in the day, but the sheets, it's not identical. So I'm kind of figuring out a couple of the equations. So you guys will have to manually do a couple of these things till I figure it out. But the spreadsheet, and we'll share screenshots of it. Obviously, you can't see it on my phone. You'll see at the top, it shows days left. I have it set right now that the first date on here is May 27th. That way you guys can backtrack and see exactly what you did day by day last week. So you'll have to input every single day. You'll input what you sold and then what you serviced. And so, if you service this dummy rep that I put on here, sold $4,208 on Memorial Day last week and had 655 service last week. On Tuesday, he sold 0, so he had a bagel day. Then he did 1848 for service rev. And then Wednesday, 2051, serviced 884, so on and so forth. It kind of fills in the gaps there. So down to, as you fill in the week, it'll show you your total week service. So this sales rep did 8,298. And it's his daily average, so it takes that and divides that number by 6, was 1,383. So it's really cool because it does track your actual average per day every single week, which is a really good number to know. And especially as you guys are pushing for goals, those are numbers you really want to be conscientious of. So the cool things with this, though, on the right side, you're going to see at the top, it talks about you can actually set your goal. And you have to go in and manually set your goal. The rep I have in here is currently at 48,000 serviced in revenue. Okay, just to kind of give you guys an idea for a lot of you guys that are centered around there, a lot of you guys that might have a little bit more than that, a lot more than that, or maybe less than that. But just to give you an idea. So this rep is at 48,000. It shows his rev to reach his goal. The goal that is set on here is 150,000. So he needs 101,000 in revenue. There's 13 weeks left in the summer as of this week. And there is, as of today, 66 knocking days through the end of August. Okay. So the next couple columns, it'll break down for you guys your needed average for daily revenue. For this rep to hit 150,000, he needs to be servicing $1,541 a day in order to get to his goal of 150,000. So that's either a really fat one account or two accounts, but it really shows that even if you're sitting less than 50,000 right now, you guys, there is so much time to hit your goals and to really push yourself and hit those big numbers that I really want you guys, all of us, to take advantage of. Okay. And then it breaks down your weekly average. This rep, he actually, in this, scenario, he actually beat his weekly needed average. He needs an average of 7,823 in order to hit 150,000. So really, really cool. I want all of you guys, I'm more than happy to help you out with the equations. If it's confusing, I can help you put it together. Message me. I'm totally down to help out with it. But I've done this for a few different sales reps, and it's really eye-opening how you can edit your main goal at the top two for this sales rep. If it's 150,000, if I were to change that and, he decided, hey, I want to train harder. I really want to hit a bigger goal. I want to do 200,000 in revenue this summer. Then automatically it updates, and now it shows, okay, you need 20. This kid would need 2,300 a day in order to hit 200,000 by the end of the summer, which is really only one more sell every single day. So it's really eye-opening. I really believe we've got so much time left on the clock, and this is one way to just show that and to really show how much harder we can dive in and train and get rolling. So like I said, look over that. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm more than happy to help. And yeah, let's freaking hit those big numbers.
And guys, a couple just thoughts here, a couple things to add. 66 days is both a lot of time and not a lot of time. Like, it's a lot of time in the sense that, yes, if you do hard things, if you work hard, if you push, if you're hitting those consistent numbers, you're going to be shocked by the total revenue number that you end at. Excuse me, Red Bull burp. It's not a lot of time in the sense that, like, we are in a sprint. Like, there are less than 3 months left. This is the harvest season. This is our chance to earn our income from the year. This is our chance to push and do what we set out to do, to reach our why, to set ourselves up to invest in real estate, to set ourselves up to pay for school, to pay for that car that you want, to pay for your housing. Like, this is the chance. So don't take any days for granted. Don't take it lightly. The final two things I have on my list, and this next one is a little bit of a call out, but I mean it with love. So don't take it the wrong way. But don't be soft. Don't be okay with coming home with 0 or 1. Like, we're at the point in the summer where if you're not hitting your goals, it should quite frankly fire you up. It should piss you off. You should be fighting tooth and nail to hit those goals every day. Sometimes I fear we're so positive that it leads to complacency. Like, it's not the end of the world if you have one bad day. But if you're consistently having bad days, that's not what you're out here for. You're out here to be successful. You're out here to make it happen. And you've got to change something. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing every day and hoping for different results. So if you're not where you want to be, you've got to change something. Whether that's your effort, whether that's your concentration on the doors, whether it's how you're pitching people, whether it's how long you're knocking, whether it's the time that you put on Saturdays, like whatever it is, you've got to change something. But you shouldn't be okay with doing 1 or 0 a day. If you're an experienced rep, you shouldn't even be okay with doing less than 3 in a day. Like, I remember my 7.5, 8 years on the doors, and then all my time knocking with reps since then, it would fire me up, absolutely just chap my hide and send me into just this like palpable, like I got to get sales if I didn't have 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts by 8 o'clock. Like, I knew I was capable of that, and I held myself accountable for it. The summer that I did 400 accounts, which is my personal record, Jeff Hatch, team lead over Alexandria, one of my best friends, he challenged me to do 7 a day. And I remember him telling me, he's like, you're capable of that, and you should be fired up anytime you sell less than 7. Like, you should work harder the next day anytime you sell less than 7. And I felt that, and I did it. And I had multiple days every week where I would sell 7 accounts or more because I believed in myself and I held myself accountable to that standard. Guys, you're all capable of it. You shouldn't be complacent with 0 or 1. If you're an experienced rep, you shouldn't be complacent with less than 3. You just shouldn't. And I'm not trying to be negative, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad, and I'm not trying to be anything other than positive. But sometimes I fear that we are so positive and so like loving and supportive that we don't call out mediocrity. Okay? Mediocrity is not okay, especially not in the elite partnership. We're not the medium partnership, we're the elite partnership. So don't be okay with less than 2 a day if you're a rookie. Don't be okay with less than 3 a day if you're an experienced rep. Everyone is capable of that. I really believe that. If you're knocking the hours, if you're focused while you're on the doors, if you're dialed in and you're giving your best in every single pitch, if you're training, if you're practicing, if you're reading the manual, you should be getting those results. It is possible for you. It is capable for you. It's not easy. It's not going to happen every day, but some days will be better. Some days you'll have 10, but you should average out at least 3 a day if you're an experienced rep, and at least 2 a day on average if you're a rookie. You're going to have some 1s. Hopefully you don't have very many 0s, but they do happen, and you're definitely going to have a lot of 2s. You can and should do more. So I put down here, demand greatness. I've said that before. My wife gets fired up at me because I tell her it all the time. I demand greatness of myself. I demand greatness of her. I demand greatness of my kids. I demand greatness of our team leaders. I demand greatness of each of you. Be great. Don't be okay with being average. Be great. Do a little bit more than you want. Do a little bit more than your car partner. Do a little bit more than the average person on your team. Go bigger. You'll never regret it. We have 66 days left. That's not very many. Okay, at the end of this week, you'll have less than 60 days. That's not a lot of days. In 3 weeks, we're going to have less than 50 days. That's not a lot. Do more. You'll be glad you did. You will never regret going above and beyond for this job. Demand greatness. Okay? Don't settle for mediocrity. I promise. And some of you are going to say, well, that's not very practical advice. It's a thought process. It's something you have to conceive in your mind. You got to win it up here before you can win it on the doors. But I promise you, if I'm a team lead, and I see this with John Martin. John's our top rep right now. He's halfway to a golden door. John tells himself every day he's going to sell 6, and he's out there banging doors at 9:45 p.m. if he's not at 6. And he's fired up. I can see it in his text. He's fired up if he doesn't sell at least 6 every single day. So hold yourself accountable, win it up here, and then make sure that your actions back up what you said you're going to do. Demand greatness. Anything you want to add?
I love that. Garrett pushed me my second summer. To that same summer, Garrett pushed me. It always ticked me off because Garrett had an entire region that he was leading in the morning that summer. And he, more often than not, like he'd only get an hour to knock before lunch sometimes. And he would always go sell 1, and I'd be freaking breaking my leg to go out and get 2 or 3 before lunch. But then after lunch, Garrett showed up every single day. And he would go out and he'd sell, 4, 5, 6 accounts every single night. And it pushed me. Every single day I would go out and I had it in my mind that I had to beat somebody. And Garrett was the brother that I had that was working about half the time on the doors because he had other responsibilities. But he was pushing me every single day and beating me most of those days. It came down to it that at the end of the summer, he went home to have Ray, his baby, his firstborn. And I had an extra 2 weeks that I did end up servicing 1 more account than Garrett that summer.
What Ryan forgets and what fires him up to this day is somehow I got like 7 phone sales.
In November, though, which if we count the stats how we count nowadays. Anyways, though, push each other. Pick somebody you've got to beat this week and beat them. It's the best thing you can possibly do.
I love it. I'm counting it as a win. I had a lot of pressure that summer. I know a lot of you have a lot of pressure this summer. It was actually Rose. It was our second born. But my wife was due like last week of August, and she came 2 weeks early with Ray and with Sunny. So I knew I had to be home early. So I left like August 10th, and I drove home 24 hours straight in my knocking polo to be there in time to have the baby. And the morning that I left, I went out and I sold 4 accounts before noon in order to put myself over 400 accounts and reach my goal. And I remember driving home in my knocking polo, like heading straight to the hospital and just being emotional because I had left it all out there and I had given everything. And it meant so much to me, and I knew what it would mean for my family, and I had no regrets. And to this day, like, I have a lot of regrets from other summers, but from that summer, I don't have any regrets, and it felt amazing. Have that kind of a summer this year where down to your final day, you're putting on as much revenue as you can. You're working as hard as you can because you know your why, because you know your purpose behind it. Your why can be providing for your family. Like, that was my why that summer. Your why can be something as cool as buying a new car. There's nothing wrong with that. But be committed to your why and work towards that. Demand greatness. Couple just humble brags while we're on the subject. I did 144 accounts in July. I did 44 accounts in a week. I had like 4 10 days in a row. Somebody beat me. It's possible. Okay, you guys can do it. Monsters. We have way better sales reps now than we did back then, and I believe a lot of you can crush me. It's also an example of how the summer keeps getting better. Like, I did well in May. I did better in June. I did best in July, and had I been able to knock a full August, that would have been my best month of the summer. So the summer keeps getting better if you work hard and if you do those things right. My final thought, and I'll end on this. I had a sales rep. His name was Troy. He worked with me my first year team leading and my second year team leading. And then he went and he graduated with a degree in chemical engineering, and he's some big chemical engineer now. I still keep touch with him because he's a good friend. But Troy would tell me every day, he's like, I have deep faith and high expectations. And that little saying has stuck with me and resonated with me my entire career here at Aptiv. I think about it almost every day. If you're doing what it takes, if you're putting in the time training, if you're working the hours that you're supposed to work, talking to the decision makers you're supposed to talk to, you're focused and you're dialed in on the doors, that's deep faith. Like, you are doing everything that it takes, everything that we've asked of you, everything that the company tells you you should do in order to get the results that you want to get. So with deep faith, you should have high expectations of yourself. You should know that you're doing what it takes in order to reach the goals that you want to reach. Okay? You're doing what it takes to get better. Think about that. Deep faith, high expectations. You can only do what you can do. Some days it's not going to go your way. You're going to have a slow week here and there. You might have a slow month, heaven forbid. But if you consistently do what it takes, you can expect that great things will come your way. Deep faith, high expectations. Anything you want to add?
No, let's end on that.
Okay. We love you guys. All the leaders in this partnership all work hard. This is a big family. We're in this together. And I can promise you, it is going to be worth it in 66 days. Okay? It is going to be worth it when we're at the welcome home event and there's lots of cool new cars and people with big old fatty back-end checks and bonuses being received and incentives and prizes, and we're staying in some bussin' Airbnbs, and you have the capital to pay off your school. You have the capital to put something down on some real estate. You have the capital to get ahead. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it when the team leaders are in Spain and Italy and France and wherever the heck else we go on our team leader trips this year. It's going to be worth it at the $1 Million Retreat at Turtle Bay in Hawaii. There's a lot of great things coming. It's going to be worth it when you build your team for next year. It's going to be worth it when 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you look back and you remember the skills that you learned this summer. You remember the effort that you put in and what it meant. Every day, I'm grateful for how hard I worked in my early 20s and my mid-20s. I look at my kids now. I look at the life that they're able to have, and I'm so grateful for this job and the avenues that it provided for me. I want that for each of you. That is the opportunity that this job brings. That is the chance that this partnership has. We're in this together. I promise I'm going to keep working my hardest every day, and I hope and I know that each of you will as well. So let's get after it. Love you guys.